If you love hurricanes, daiquiris, and, well, any rum cocktail, listen up. Captain Morgan's about to shake things up like never before. We're talking Bourbon Street, New Orleans, home to legendary drinks and unforgettable moments. But what if we told you the most iconic cocktails here have one thing in common? Hint, it's not bourbon. That's right, it's rum. And Captain Morgan is bringing unforgettable fun to Bourbon Street in a way you won't want to miss. Get ready for something big as we gear up for Super Bowl 59. Make sure to keep your eyes on NOLA's most iconic street. Who knows, Bourbon Street might just need a new name. Stay tuned for clues and get ready for the most legendary adventure yet. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spice Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
They're blowing smoke in my rear end so bad, I'm sending off smoke signals.
And welcome to the Reaver Common Sense. Oh,
Please,
skip it today.
I'm begging you. Please. I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. Please subscribe.
Uh-oh. I'm Jersey Joan. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless right here on SHR Conservative Media Done Right. It is Friday, 9 p.m. How the fuck is everybody doing today? Had a pretty good week. A little strange, but a good. Let's see, where do we start? Let's start off because I keep hearing Democrats bitch and moan about billionaires interfering. And we'll get more on it. Our billionaire, Elon Musk, a rocket man, look at what he's done with SpaceX. Now, I'll never buy a Tesla, but that doesn't mean I don't see the value in the Teslas that he has designed. The technology he took and advanced with his team is amazing. And I'll give him every credit. But the electric vehicles, I don't like them. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't be made. I understand. We need to explore things. But I'll give credit when credit's due, even if it's something I may not care about. Why do I have to care about everything? I don't. It's just that the electric cars aren't my thing. But I bring to you our billionaire build stuff that is helping the country. How you doing, big girl? Don't forget to join conversation. Jump in the chat. Most everybody's been joining into the YouTube chat, so jump in there and join the conversation. Where was it? So our billionaire builds rockets, parallel parks, skyscrapers, and catches them in midair. And the main billionaire for the Democrat, what's he doing? Well, actually, I should say his son's doing. What is he doing? Let's show you. Going and meeting, real responsible people. I just can't believe the responsibility of these people. If you don't know who that is Mr. How's it pronounced? Gallego or something like that. Come on, give me Gallego. He is the son of a cartel member. And there on the left, as I'm looking at left, that would be your left still. That is Alex Soros, all buddy with a cartel member. It sickens me as I watch these. Democrats do nothing. They have helped cartels. Yes, God, no, they haven't. Open borders have helped grow cartels. Democrats have done nothing to close that border. They've done everything to keep it open. They've helped the cartels flood our country with drugs. And one of the worst ones right now, fentanyl. That is what the Democrats do. They protect criminals. They protect cartels. They protect Gallego. Let that sink in. Then they wonder why. You're going to hear this multiple times tonight. Then the Democrats wonder why they are at a 31% approval rating. And I'm willing to bet my ass the next time that rating comes out, it's going to be lower. Because the left... let me back it up for you. This. Now I'm having trouble with the window. Someone else reposted it, and it's like a Robin Gallego is the guy's name, and he's cartel. What are people complaining about that the guy that posted? Yeah, right here. Is that him? Someone posted that this is a cartel member, son of, or something like that. But it's... Would it shock anybody? Yes, the primaries are coming. And they're not learning anything. Thank you, Biff, BC, because that is my next subject. Democrats haven't learned shit. They got an approval rating of 31%, and it's going to go down. 57% of the people in America disapprove of the Democrat Party. And where is that video? I found this appalling last night. And this happened with basically every single Democrat when they went out to vote for a nomination. The nomination did. I don't even know why they're throwing the hissy fit over this nomination, because it's not Pam Bondi. It's not Tulsi Gabbard. It's not RFK. But this is how they acted on every single vote. They tried to debate. They tried to give a speech, which is not allowed by rule. And I give every credit. I think that's Moody that's running the Senate. And a couple times you could see she was getting pissed. And she was getting ready to say some stuff she shouldn't as the president of the Senate. You know what? I totally screwed up there. That is my boo-boo. 1 second. I thought I shared it and popped the video, but I didn't. There we go.
To Rule
I
12,
was
no debate is
disgusted
permitted
last
during
night.
a vote.
I mean, literally
Pursuant to
disgusted.
Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a
Now,
vote.
what's worse, this comes
Pursuant to
from a
Rule 12,
Democrat
no debate is permitted during
Senate.
a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule
This
12,
came
no
from a
debate is
Democrat
permitted
Senate
during a vote. Pursuant to Rule
X
12,
post
no
where they
debate is
bragged
permitted
about
during a
doing
vote.
this, bragged
Pursuant
about
to Rule
breaking the
12, no
rules
debate is permitted
every
during a
single
vote.
vote.
Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant
They're
to Rule
bragging
12,
that
no
they
debate is
were
permitted
crying
during a
and
vote.
whining.
Pursuant to
Like,
Rule 12,
I
no
don't want
debate is
insult
permitted during a vote.
5-year-olds.
Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is
Because
permitted during a vote.
5-year-olds act
No
better,
debate is permitted
more
during a vote.
responsible,
Pursuant to
more
Rule 12,
mature
no debate
than
is permitted
these
during a vote.
assholes.
Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted
And
during a
they're
vote.
bragging about it. They think it's funny.
Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no
As
debate is
BZ
permitted
says,
during a
best
vote.
news, the primaries are coming.
No debate is permitted
Democrats
during a vote.
thankfully are learning nothing.
Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. No debate is
They
permitted
are
during
going
a
to get
vote.
slammed between what's going on
No
with
debate
the
is permitted
USA.
during a vote. No debate is permitted during a vote.
And this is
No
not
debate
like the same
is permitted
vote.
during a vote.
This is every time the Democrats
Mr.
went to
Schumer, you
vote
should
last
know,
night on the
pursuant to
nomination. And Schumer, the leader of the party, sitting there up there trying to
Pursuant to
give a
Rule
speech.
12, no debate is permitted during a vote. Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted during a vote. 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 Pursuant to Rule 12, no debate is permitted
Now
during a
this-
vote.
I'll admit it,
Pursuant to Rule
I was
12,
literally,
no debate is
and I turned to
permitted
my
during a
wife, 'cause
vote. No
technically
debate is
she's a
permitted during a
registered
vote.
Democrat.
No debate is permitted during a vote,
And
sir.
she was
The
appalled.
senator will suspend.
disgusted. Look at that Senate Democrat. They're proud of it, people. They're proud of their actions. And like BC, if you want to come on, there's that link in our chat on X. You know, anytime you want to come on, you know you have open. And I appreciate you in the chat. And say what you, Earl. If you wanted to talk about this, come on. My wife is a technically registered Democrat her whole life. She found this absolutely appalling. But like BC's saying, don't change. Because the Democrats are screwing Democrats. They're screwing themselves. Because if you think Americans aren't listening and seeing what's going on, X has exposed the Democrat Party for what it is. Let me see if I saved that. There is a black gentleman who just laid waste to the Democrat Party as he announced that he left the Democrat Party. He demolished them. Now I'm not going to be able to find that post. And he's not the only one. There is people leaving by droves. Hillsborough County, Florida just flipped red. Counties are flipping red in Florida at a high rate. And it's catching on like a wildfire through this country. People are tired of the Democrats. And it's sad because the Democrats are not listening. We've even said this is what you need to do to change. This way you can get some momentum. And they don't want to listen because they think they're smarter than everybody else. Well, it's looking like a pile of dog shit is smarter than these dumbasses. And it just voting in David Hogg as your vice chair of your party. And then the cocksucker goes out today and says Elon Musk needs to be replaced with Peter Buttplug, Buttigieg, Butt Fancy, whatever the fuck his name is. The guy guy did nothing for 4 years except destroy our aviation, destroy our roadways. He did nothing to help. He was spending more money on drag shows than building bridges. How many billions of dollars was set aside for electric vehicle stations? And we got what, 8? No, I don't think they could change. And the problem, all right, the older ones, no, they can't change. They're set in their ways. But the young ones are going along the exact same path. In fact, they're taking it more left. Oh, we're getting our ass beat going left. We're getting more radicalized. What should we do? Hard to left, hard to left. What is that, starboard? Or is that port? No, port's behind you. I always screw up the directions with that, naval directions. My dad would be yelling at me right now. Hey, you dumbass. I'm flabbergasted. I'm stunned at their actions last night. I wouldn't have accepted it, but I would have a little bit more understanding if they actually did it for a nomination. They're picking fights that they can't win at all. It seems like they're just picking fights to pick fights right now. You got in California, they're throwing a hissy fit because this gentleman got deported. I'm trying to set up. Feel like the day you died. Oh, got Life of Agony playing in the background. Oh, I'm just. All right. Trying to. All right. Now try to explain this as it goes along. All right. So this is ICE in California.
It seemed like a simple request by a California parole agent in Montebello.
I just need you to sign that I've been here and I go and that's it.
But it turned out to be a ploy designed to lure Natalie Marinero out of her home and into the custody of ICE agents.
Why?
You know, it's hard to find the words to say how the government called here and tricked Natalie and lured her outside.
Lured her. I'm not going to. But what are they supposed to? ICE, would you please come out for us? They tricked the criminal. They tricked the criminal, and they're upset. This is a trans-Salvadorian murderer that's in the United States freely. They are a murderer. And the California Democratic legislators are seething over the deportation of this killer. They're upset. This person's getting deported. It's a fucking murderer.
And had ICE waiting for her.
It happened on Sunday, January 26th, shortly after 10 in the morning. Natalie, a transgender woman from El Salvador, was living at a New Way of Life, a facility for formerly incarcerated women. In 2005, Natalie was convicted of second-degree murder and was sent to California State Prison.
She paid 17 and a half years. She paid her debt to society.
After you were detained, what did they tell you?
They told me that I was getting deported, and I said, why are you going to deport me? If you can deport me, I'm going to get tortured in my country.
Natalie's been making great choices, really working on herself, internally, externally, like the whole package.
Susan Burden says she's called the California Parole Office, and she says her calls have been ignored. She's also notified state legislators. They told her they're outraged and they will investigate.
Yes, I'm going to post the message from BZ when we get back from message. And if you have very delicate ears, you might want to mute for a minute when we come back from break, because I got a few choice words about this.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
What is the Edge of Liberty? News, politics, commentary, sarcasm, alcohol, and high blood pressure. It's as American as a good revolution. So tune in every Monday and Friday at 12 Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast on the SHR Media Network and KLRN Radio. For details, visit www.shrmedia.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense, and we've got a great special guest. I am 100% serious. This isn't blowing smoke anybody's ass. I love having this guy and Sackhead Sean on. And Earl, I've told you, you got an open invitation. It's in our chat anytime you want to jump in. We have the great BZ. How you doing, BZ?
That sounds like a bucket full of hyperbole, if you ask me. Or first you have this bowl, and then you hyper it.
All right. Now, I want to go on a little rant, and I'm going to give the floor to you for a moment.
Oh, rant away, sir. This is your show. I'm just enjoying it.
My father, back in, I believe it was 1981, was shot. I have heard more excuses by Democrats for the criminals. They constantly are crying and whining over criminals, murderers, rapists, drug dealers. I never hear them talk about the victim. They're talking how this person's going to go back to El Salvador and they're going to get killed. They only murdered a poor person and they spent 17 years in jail. What about that family that does not have their loved one with them anymore because that person murdered them? Which means there was no justification for it. I understand there's justified murder and unjustified murder. And the Democrat 100% is always behind the unjustified murderer. When they've gone on their protest and held up, all these people, every single one of them has been a criminal that they've stood behind. They don't get behind a 13-year-old black girl in Chicago that got shot by a gangbanger. Never. They always stand behind the criminal and never the victim. And more people need to call them out on it. PZ?
Oh, shoot. I can't think of the name of the book. There was a book that I just purchased recently called Rough Prosecution or something like that. And again, the name of the author, there were two authors. This guy's name escapes me as well. But essentially he said, there is hope on the horizon. Now, Soros paid to install, I think, 60 plus leftist, progressive, air quotes, prosecutors and DAs all throughout the boneyard land to make sure that law enforcement doesn't occur and that crimes are not enforced. And one by one, these people are getting replaced. So America is beginning to come around just a bit. But as I said earlier today in my social media, don't get me wrong, these revelations are wondrous. They're incredible. They're exquisite. They're glorious. Any other adjective that you could possibly think to insert into the equation here, it's great. But don't forget that at the end of 4 years, unless some kind of great deus ex machina comes from above, this shit's going to stop. So unless the Republicans can identify relatively early the new Trump, and like attempting to replace Reagan, you will never get a Reagan. However, just like it was, history repeats. And if you don't learn from history, you're a fucking moron. It took a Carter to get a Reagan. It took a Biden to get number 247, Trump. And I don't doubt that the point in between is I'm not sure Trump would have been eminently ready as he was as 47 in 2020 as he was in 2024. I think we are all seeing that he has learned quite a bit since 45. It took 4 years of Biden to get us to the point where we are now. So obviously we should be extremely happy.
It took how many prosecutions of two assassinations?
Yeah. Do you know? I've said this countless times. Do you know anyone, I don't know, in their fucking 20s, maybe their 30s, who could put up with 4 years, 6 years, almost 10 years of constant haranguement, harassment, literal prosecutions, and 2 assassination attempts, once in which, had he not moved but a fraction of an inch, he would be killed. He would have been assassinated on live television today. Do you know anyone in their 20s or 30s who could put up physically with the crap that this guy is? I mean, he runs, like Dire Straits. Dude runs on heavy fuel, okay? McDonald's cheeseburgers and all that kind of stuff. And he's still here. He's going to be 80 in the not too distant future. This fucker sleeps 2 to 3 hours a night. And in the 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours a night that he's sleeping, he's thinking of ways that he can skewer Democrats, leftists, and globalists up the ass and put them on a pike like Vlad Tepes a long time ago.
One thing I like that he does also is he exposes the UDIs. And for those that don't know what a UDI is, an undocumented Democrat insurgent, formerly known as a rhino.
Oh yeah, I see that is also a like problem and issue, is that there are altogether too many underminers on our team. Well, okay, maybe your team, not necessarily my team. My team is, I call myself a conservatarian, and I told the GOP at least a decade, maybe two ago, because I'm okay. I'm doing okay for cash post retirement. So I target my cash to individuals, never again to the GOP unless you come around. You're never going to come around. So you have to make sure that, as you mentioned earlier, Jersey Joe, primaries are coming up.
Yep.
And all the people that are not coming along, see, this is the one opportunity. This is the one golden opportunity for the GOP to coalesce like they've never coalesced before. They got the White House. They essentially have the Senate to a degree. They do. I mean, numerically. And they have the House. And if you guys can't find it within yourselves to rally around everything that's happening right now, such as U.S. aid, the number that I'm hearing is this U.S. aid abrogation is 0.7% of the total budget of the United States. We are 37, probably not far from 37.5, 37 pushing $38 trillion in debt. This continuing spending is not only unsustainable, it's insane. And look at all the people that are voting or not coalescing around Donald Trump. Even Fetterman, on a number of occasions, found it responsible, realistic to vote for things that, to get certain nominations out. Even Fetterman kind of gets it. I don't know if you have it lined up. There was an absolutely grand, a glorious, a wonderful interview that was conducted with James Carville yesterday. Every day that I listen to James Carville, I keep thinking, damn, did somebody shoot at Carville and just missed his ear? Because he's sounding a lot like sort of a moderate and semi-responsible individual. Folks, primaries are coming up.
Yeah.
If your Congress critter or House critter or Senate critter is not aligning himself or herself up with Donald John Trump, OMB, Orange Man Bad, the guy with the dead orange cat on his head, then you need to primary the shit out of him and get him out. We got 4 years to do it.
The Democrats aren't thinking that far ahead. They just see the hatred in front of them. And I don't think they understand that they're giving ads away for free to Republicans to use against them in primaries. Even the midterm elections. They're just sitting there going out there going, hey, you want a free commercial to use against me? Watch me act like an asshole.
If I had editing skills,
same here.
The videos that I could assemble for various Republicans or conservatives would be absolutely legion, because I believe you and I have the impetus within us to be motivated to, if I had these mad skills over here, oh my God, the crazy ass shit I could assemble for the benefit of people who are actually conservatives. But hear me now, hear us loud, hear Jersey Joe, hear me, and that is primary these dickweeds out. Get rid of Collins. Get rid of Murkowski.
Have you noticed lately I've been paying as much as I can attention to the votes. The votes go on.
I'm not convinced.
No, I've only heard one no vote out of Collins and Murkowski so far on a nomination, and that was Pete Heg.
Yeah, they came around
to vote
a little bit, but see, these are just nominations. Where do they stand on the EOs? Do you hear any of these people? And McConnell, I forgot McConnell. No, there are a host of other people.
He needs to be retired.
Oh, he just needs to fucking go.
Twice. I mean, he is not with it. He is worse than Biden was health-wise. And for us allowing him to stay in is a hypocrite. We're being hypocrites by allowing him to stay in while bitching about Biden's mentality.
Well, Kentucky's ass needs to be kicked. Thomas Massey isn't bad. We interviewed Thomas Massey at SHR at Liberty Fest in 2017. Thomas Massey is, as opposed to McConnell.
All right.
Now, I get Tom Tillis and Thomas Massey confused. I do not mean Tom Tillis. Tom Tillis is a dick.
Yeah, he's out of North Carolina, right?
I'm not sure. Thomas,
I remember one of our old hosts bitching about him about North Carolina, him being kind of questionable on his conservatism. But yeah, Massey just, for me,
Massey can run hot and cold.
He seems to be the person that loves to go out there and pick apart everything. And if it's not his way, he doesn't want to get behind it.
Well, you could say that of Rand Paul, but I think the overall picture is that Rand Paul, I believe, truly has some things in mind. Now, there are any number of times when I yelled at the TV screen, well, not really, and said, Rand Paul, you need to rally your ass around, fill in the blank.
Yes.
But all the rest of these other people who have a wide and storied history of not going along with the GOP, particularly with regard that, folks, do you realize what a once in a lifetime opportunity has fallen on our feet? Had Trump not kicked the ass of Kamala Harris and all the ridiculosity that occurred as a result of that, we wouldn't know a fraction of the things, and we don't know a fraction of the things that are still buried yet. But to have unveiled them, dug them out, these are gifts.
I can't wait to hear the audit for the Pentagon.
These are fucking gifts. And if we don't take advantage of these gifts right now, they're going to be gone.
Yep.
Because these people are going to fight. Now, the good part, the happy story, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that, oh my God, Democrats aren't learning a thing. Fabulous. Outstanding. Please learn nothing. Please double down on doing the same thing and continuing your insanity. That's wonderful.
I wish I did
that.
I thought I did. There's that black gentleman on X. Have you seen that big video he put up? And it's got
the dude with the hat.
Yeah, and he totally lambasted.
He's awesome.
Well, while you're talking, I'm going to look for that.
Okay. All right, because that guy is just absolutely superior in all respects. If you can't find it, by the way, or you know what? If you're looking for it on yours, if you go to my X, by the way, folks, my X, I'm BZ of BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. And you can go to my X Twitter at BZ's Saloon, at BZ's Saloon. Self-promotion ended. But if you go to my X, you'll probably be able to find it. That guy's face is wide all over that. In any event, see, this is the thing that completely kicks my ass about the Republicans. And again, I've said this any number of times. Why did it take Donald John Trump, OMB, Orange Man Bad, the guy with the dead orange cat on his head, to say something similar to, you know what? Our tent flaps are open. The entrance is wide. Come one, come all. As Lonnie Poindexter says, I don't give a shit what your paint job is, just as long as you're conservative. Come on in. And this time around, more people believed him, including that guy that you're looking for.
I found it.
Okay, then I'll shut up.
Page.
I'll shut up. This guy is that guy. He's super.
All right, here we go.
This fucking political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people.
Bingo.
And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in, and now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as fucking mules to get us to push whatever fucking agenda you wanted to.
Fire, baby.
Yep. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party. The shit that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
Fire, baby. That dude is on fire. As well he should be. You know, it's like, I was thinking about this today. I was talking to my wife. We went to a Mexican restaurant. Not that it really makes any difference, but people say, oh, you can't get good Mexican in red states. Fuck you. I had Mexicans that were actually cooking my food. You know, it's not about Jesus Christ, BZ. Okay, get back on track. These folks, and I will say literally, these folks, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, their unemployment rates went down by 50% each group under 45. And then as a result of that, there were the intervening 4 years of cluster fuckishness that occurred. And then those people, November 5th of 2024, a shit ton of them came around. It's because some of these people's eyes have been opened. These people's, you know, I have to speak in terms of race and sex because that's the only thing that Democrats, leftists, and globalists see with. Those are the only binoculars, the only spectacles that they will ever use. I don't think that in those terms they're going to be changing, and that's a great thing for us.
Did you see Representative Eric Swallowall, his post today?
No. I have not. If you have it, I would.
Oh, I have it. I'm going to put it up.
I would love to see it. Mostly, I try not to follow fuck sticks too much, unless I want to make a point with them and just take and poleaxe them.
But he goes and posts, "Yo, Trump, get your boy." Talking about a black man and calling him boy. Now, I do not agree with what Kanye West said.
Is that the actual name of Big Balls?
No, this is Kanye West, the black rapper.
Oh, I don't. Oh, that's him.
Well, he's the one that, for some reason, he put "I love Hitler." Now what?
Oh, there he is. Okay, I couldn't see the name.
I don't agree with what he said, but that does not give it right for a sitting House Democrat to say, "Yo, Trump, get your boy."
The biggest racists, these shit sticks continue to prove that the biggest racists in town are themselves.
Yeah.
And frequently, like Jasmine, whatever the fuck her name is, she's a huge black female racist. Al Green, racist. I don't mind calling these people racists, telling them to their faces what they are. What are you going to do to me? I'm retired and I have just buckets
You can't be racist
standing
against
behind me.
white
I have buckets of I don't give a shit right over here. I'm made of that.
CNN.
Oh, listen. If you haven't done this, oh God, I wish I had my X up and I could share a screen.
What do you think?
You do realize, everybody does realize that when Bon Scott was still alive, I met him a long time ago in a galaxy far, far
I know
away.
where you're going. ACDC.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
people.
AC/DC had a song in the 70s called Big Balls
Yes.
that Bon Scott sang. And then there was a graphic.
You've got big balls.
If you want to find, go to my X. I don't know if you have it, but go to my X and find the award for Big Balls. And then directly underneath that is the
song, but
You Kid song by
Strike on it.
AC/DC. And if I had access to that, I'd put up that that little award. Kurt Schlichter, who I have had on my show any number of times, and I want to get him back, and he's forgotten about me. He's gotten even bigger than he was before. And I should try to get him back on the show because now I can actually do video, and I know he does video. He was on my show 5 times, and Kurt Schlichter said recently, today or yesterday, it must have been today, after Big Balls got fired.
He got rehired.
Well, yes, that's the point. That's where I'm going. There we go. That's the Big Balls Doge Employee of the Month. And everyone's heads are exploding. Completely concur. If these people tell you that somebody's radioactive, fuck them. And they did. They brought him back.
But what's funny is on CNN, they had to talk about big balls on CNN.
Vance said something very logically, and then I watched the most recent press conference. Vance said, okay, this guy made a mistake. This guy made an error. He's a kid. How many of us haven't done something similarly stupid, and now you can do it even easier on social media than definitely I could have when I was a kid? And do we find it within ourselves to forgive somebody who's made a mistake as long as they decide that they're going to atone in some fashion and not make that mistake again? And so Vance, having said that, I watched a press conference where Trump today was talking about, did we bring that employee back? I know he got fired. And then Vance was speaking to him over there, and Trump said, okay, well, you know what? And he looks over at where Vance was off the screen and says, if JD Vance says that and he brought the guy back, then I'm with him. Yes, that's how you coalesce as a big wall and front these motherfuckers on the left. And the Democrats start using their shit against them.
We talked about it.
Oh God!
Last Friday? I think we had, John. We talked about we need to use some of the same tactics they use against us.
Exactly.
Are holding them to these standards, and you know what? Swallow should be all over the news for making that racist comments, but they'll give him a goddamn pass because they've been paid off by the Democrats, and we found out. It's not a conspiracy theory. They were funneling money into USA, which then funneled it into the media.
It's one huge grift, one huge scam. And as we all know,
and the more they bitch, the more it shows their guilt.
The Band-Aid has been ripped off the scar. And it's probably not going to heal with luck.
Yeah.
Now, all these people are outing themselves as who they truly are.
Yep.
Racists, a white person can be a racist. Any person can be a racist. There's no King's X because, your melanin is different than mine. Okay. Lily White, burn like crazy, have skin cancer, and paying for it. Absolutely immaterial. absolutely immaterial. But if you're a racist, you're a racist. Any skin color can be a racist.
Exactly.
And anybody of any color can invite more people into the tent. More. And more people are starting to come.
More ideas, or different ideas that come together, the better the idea is.
And as these are unprecedented times in terms of the constant assault on the left and the Democrats, I don't think will be ceasing. Can you imagine? Trump did this in the best way imaginable. Somehow, on the off chance, and I can only think that he had been planning all of this literally for months. He had all these people in his brainulus, in his Mark I Model 1 brain housing group, and had contacted these people beforehand and said, here's my goal. Here's my thought. Here's my big overarching umbrella. I want you and you and you and you and you and you to come on board. And when you and you and you and you come on board, here's my great plan. And I'm going to assault everyone nonstop from day one. The American media maggots can't keep up. Fuck, I can't keep up. And my job is to keep up.
Exactly. And I'm starting to run short on time. And
sure.
I want to hit two articles real quick. And I'm just off the headline because the headline does pretty much say what's going on. The first one I want to ask you, should California get any federal funding for the fires if they're going to spend $50 million on just trying to stop Trump? And the headline, Newsom signs $50 million to fight Trump after going to the federal government and begging for federal aid for fires. And I don't want to screw over fellow Americans, but when you vote in fucking retarded Muppets like this, and they go wasting money and then go begging for money from the federal government, that pisses me off. That'd be like me, pissing away, $500 at the bar, then come begging my neighbor for money to pay my bills. What do you say?
Easily solved. Very easily solved. And the solution is what leftist Democrats and globalists were complaining about today. And the word that was bandied around CNN all day today was coercion. Coercive. Everything that Donald Trump does is coercive. And to that I said, fuck you, idiots. Of course it's coercive. It needs to be transactional. Sure. We can give some cash to California, always spell it with a K, even though I despise it with a bitter bile that few have, because I've been fleeced and turned upside down by the state of California, always spell it with a K. Make it transactional. Sure as shit, make it coercive. Now, I don't know what the elements and the bullet points would be, but it should be something similar to, okay, California, Gavin Newsom, Mr. Oil Hair, have I got a deal for you? And it's going to be transactional and coercive as fuck. But the days of wine and roses are done, motherfucker. Sorry, it's late at night, kids. I hope you're asleep. But it's going to be like this. Yes, I can see fit to give you some money to the state of California, Mr. Gavin, but you're going to do this for me. You're going to open the floodgates. You're going to start building some more reservoirs. And by the way, you can use some of my federal money for that, but most of that money is going to come from you. You can design anything you want, but you absolutely, especially with that shit stick, must make it transactional and coercive, or, you don't get the money. That's what the art of the deal is all about. The days of us being the United States sitting on one side of a table and giving up everything and then presenting our bunghole to our enemies who are on the other side. They give us nothing. We give everything. Those days are done. They're gone. They're ended. It's great. It's glorious. And that's why we should be going, wait a minute. Yeah. because those days have to be gone. So,
well, California,
sure, give him some cash
properly. How much money? How many billions of dollars was given to California for the high-speed rail, and they built what, a mile in the last 10 years?
Now, at the time, I went down to go see Alan Thomas, who's been on my show. He lives in Fresno, and from Sacramento, where I used to live, down to Fresno, it's a 4-hour jaunt on Highway 99. And down Highway 99, at one point, just before I got to Fresno, there was what looks like, you know how you've seen a freeway overpass in partial completion, where it's got maybe a little bit of a curve to it. It's up on these concrete pylons, and that section, probably 7 years ago, was maybe 300 or 400 feet in length. At the time that this occurred, because I know something about railroads. I became a railroad aficionado because I shot video and stills of railroads, because where I used to live is about 3/4 of a mile from the original Transcontinental Railroad, by the Central Pacific, then the Southern Pacific, then the Union Pacific. So I know that at the time, if they're talking about high-speed rail, they were talking about a couple of $1 million just for the grade per mile, a couple of million per. Well, it's doubled, and in some cases tripled since that, because you're going to have to buy so much property. Well, the bottom line is, yes, they have some of that constructed, but it's such an incredible boondoggle that it's to the point where Californians, what are you going to do about it? Well, you know for a fact, Democrats, leftists, and globalists, especially those in California, always spell it with a K, are not going to stop this thing. So you will continue to pay for it, because otherwise you're going to have a series of elevated portions of high-speed rail, which, as it turns out, is not that high a speed, maybe 70, 80 miles an hour, because they thought, oh, we're going to do, like Japan does. We'll make something 120, 170, 150 miles per hour. No, they're not envisioning that anymore.
Now, let me, this is what makes me kind of giggle at this whole prospect of that high-speed rail. Chris Christie was stepping out of office here in Florida as governor. Rick Scott stepped in, and he...
Christie was in Florida?
No, not Chris. Charlie Chris, sorry.
Okay.
Chris Christie, Charlie Chris, I get them sometimes the name's confused. And Rick Scott took over, and he shut down that high-speed rail. That's when California picked it up. Now, since then, and you're talking, Rick Scott did...
Very smart.
4-year terms, so there's 8. We've had DeSantis for 4 plus 2, so that's what? Close to 16 years, we'll say. We've had a private company come in, bought the land, and has built and been running for a couple of years now a high-speed rail that goes from Orlando east. I don't know what town it goes to, but basically hits the coast, then it goes down to Homestead.
Isn't there an Air Force base there?
Used to be. One of the hurricanes took it out.
Oh, okay.
Now,
shit. I didn't know that.
Oh, that was decades ago.
Oh, sorry. Shows you how much I know about Florida.
But we had this high-speed rail developed and built privately, up and running, and California's built like, what, a mile or 2?
Maybe about 5 miles.
Yeah. And now they're looking at going from Orlando all the way to, I know Tampa might go all the way to actually the Gulf of America. It just blows my mind how, when you have either a private company or responsible government officials, how stuff gets built. But when you have people who want to waste money on illegal immigration, protecting criminals, money gets wasted. And that goes for my last article. Go ahead.
That's how the Transcontinental Railroad got built. It didn't get built by the government. Now, the government under Abraham Lincoln, yes, provided per mile incentives, so to speak. And the big four, Huntington, Crocker, Stanford, etc., I can't think of the fourth guy, took full advantage of that. But this country is unlike any other. It's not like Europe, where you have all these little balkanized countries smack dab against these other. And who pays for the rail? Who pays for all the passenger rail in Europe? The government.
Yeah.
So does the government particularly give a shit whether it makes money or not? No, because it collects taxes, not just regular taxes, really big shoe taxes. So huge rail, wide rail, transnational high-speed rail is incredibly expensive to build. If for no other reason than the environmentalists, enviro-leftards, and the EPA, etc. I've got a show coming up, folks, that it is going to burn your brain. I've got a show that's coming up that's going to tell you what all these poor motherfuckers down in Southern California are going to be facing when they want to rebuild their homes. Number one, will they be able to? And the answer is maybe not, because Gavin Newsom, as I suspected all along, he's going to be changing up that shit from R1 to R3. R1 is single family homes. R3 is low footprint, multi-level, high density homes to cram as many people as you can into smart cities and smart locales. And why shouldn't the homeless and the drug addled and the mental crazies, why shouldn't they have their own grand view of the Pacific Ocean in Malibu? I mean, that seems so judgmental and harsh to not build homes and multiple family housing units for them. Oh my God, when I come up with this thing, you will see the insanity writ large and you'll understand why nothing happens.
All right, this last article we're just going to basically laugh at, and then I'm going to have to end the show. But you had talked about how Democrats are not learning. So who did they vote as their vice chair of the Democrat Party?
Oh, that's so good.
But now that kid's running his mouth today.
Well, let's hear. I want to hear.
David Hogg demands Elon Musk be fired and replaced by Peter Buttplug. I'm sorry, Buttigieg.
Butt gig.
This is just how you vote.
No.
How do you vote and expect things to change with that shit stain of a kid?
Well, and that's why I say I love that the Democrats have chosen intentionally to continue all pursuit of this course, specifically because the primaries are coming. Yeah. That said, let us not give up. The fight is just beginning. There is so much more to unearth, because if just through one organization we are discovering this, there is so much left to unearth.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you actually just made a point, because my mom asked me tonight. She's like, "Why do you guys still do the show? The fight's over. Trump won."
Oh no!
This fight is a never-ending fight. This fight continues every single day. It is a nonstop battle. Just because he got elected, the battle still continues. The war is still not over.
Courts, and more courts.
Yep. All right. I need everybody to tell you where they can find you, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. You could have been any other place, but you chose to be here.
Well, we SHR supports each other.
If you watch our shows, you'll see that we're all
we like to be in the chat rooms,
putting each other's show. We're always jumping on each other's show, helping each other out. I think we all work great together. We all bring a little something that makes people laugh while they're watching it. Give them a little.
I bring old age, and obesity, and
I bring fuck around,
and you bring common sense, which you so clearly Reeve.
Exactly. But tell everybody where we can find you.
Well, customarily, I'm on Tuesday and Thursday nights. I am a late night TV show, radio show, TV, radio, and you can see me on video. So I guess that's where the TV comes from. 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, on all the various places that you can find. The other guy that was on here, I haven't seen him recently, but oh yeah, there he is. Big E. Earl is on Mission Ready Men. He's at 9 a.m. Pacific, also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, and then noon Eastern. You need to watch Earl on Mission Ready Men. And then we've got Sackhead Sean, and we've got you, and we've got me. So my next show is Tuesday. I'm going to have Edward Manji on, who is a filmmaker of the UFOs, paranormal, Sasquatch, and a really curious guy who I think he's from Colombia. And an incredible filmmaker. We're going to talk to him. Alan Thomas is going to be on that night, along with Nate Rudd. Both,
I'll let my daughter know.
Both
She's actually
Sasquatch guys. And then I'm going to have an actual constitutional sheriff back who lost the sheriff race in my county, Dan Wilson. But we're going to be talking about all things constitutional next Thursday night, and about all the stupid shit that's still occurring in law enforcement that you need to know about. Because if it's happening in my county and I'm a red state, then you can be guaranteed that it's going to be occurring, and already is occurring likely in your state too.
I'll let my daughter know about that shit you got coming up, because actually, I don't know if you noticed, she has been watching your show pretty regularly.
Oh, good. Excellent.
And she has. She loves your show.
He documents Edward Manji, documents paranormal, UFO, Sasquatch stuff.
All that stuff too. But she's been watching your regular shows.
He's a cool guy. Very professional.
All right. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Going? All right. I always can't find the buttons. There we go. All right, everybody. And that's going to be the show tonight. And I want to thank everybody. I saw some of the numbers, and I love that you spent your time to come watch my show. It's Friday night. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here, and I want to thank you. I can't stop thanking you enough. I will be back Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my show. There's Earl talking about his show. It's 11 a.m. Central. We got great shows here on SHR Media, and we're just looking to add. And with that, I want to wish everybody a great weekend. I'll see you Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.